Hello guys, welcome to my first double feature review. This is basically where I just review two movies on one video. The review, it's basically like I watched two movies in one night and then I reviewed both movies. So tonight is going to be Nobody and Spiral, which came out both this year, and I want to get in first talk about Nobody. So when I heard Bob Odenkirk, who is honestly one of my favorite actors, such a great actor. He was Saul Goodman in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. When I heard he was doing an action film, I was like, okay, I'm intrigued because I don't really see him as this action type actor. And then I saw the trailers, which this is the trailer you're watching now. I was like, okay, I'm now really interested in this movie because it looked so cool from the trailer. And when I found out that it was from the producers of John Wick and from the director of Hardcore Henry, I was instantly in. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch the movie in the theaters due to me working a lot, so I finally got a chance to catch the movie. I rented it on Xbox, and when I think of it, I fucking loved Nobody. My God, this movie is honestly so fucking fun. If you want a fun action movie to watch and you love movies like Hardcore Henry and John Wick, you owe it to yourself. I beg you, I plead you to watch Nobody. First off, I want to say right now that the action in this movie is fucking gruesome and intense, and it feels brutally realistic at times with some really good gore and blood effects. They looked great. Not one scene looked out of place in terms of its gore or it didn't look like, see, it actually looked like they used like practical blood, which if they were using CGI blood, it's really good looking, but it looks like they use actual, practical blood, which is something that I liked. But the thing that really struck out to me the most is Bob Odenkirk in this movie. He is fucking awesome in Nobody. He is fantastic. I honestly want to see him take more roles like this because he did such a phenomenal job. I believe him as this dangerous fucking person who's hiding, like, he's just this ordinary guy who's hiding this secret from people. And when the secret comes out, it's it's so damn badass. The scenes where he's fucking up people is fucking brutal. It's fucking amazing, and I love it so much. Not to mention, have you ever wanted to see Saul from Breaking Bad team up with Doc Brown from Back to the Future to shoot fucking Russians? Because there is a scene where Christopher Lloyd and Bob Odenkirk shoot Russians, and it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. The movie is directed so well. It has such great cinematography, great acting from everyone, beautiful action set pieces. This movie to me is what I want in an action film. This was such a fun watching experience. And it's a shame I couldn't catch this in theaters when I did, but if you were worried about this movie not being good, I implore you to please, please watch this movie. You will not at all regret watching Nobody. It was a fun experience from beginning to end for me. I had no issues with this movie. There was no pacing issues for me. There was no horrible acting at all. It was so much fun. And I highly, 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 highly recommend you go out and check out Nobody. I am giving Nobody a 9. No, know what? Fuck it. I'm giving Nobody a 10 out of 10. This is easily one of my favorite movies of the year, and it's going to go definitely in my top 10 list of this year. So, yes, please go check out Nobody. Alright, so next up we have Spiral, a sort of sequel in the Saw franchise. Now, when I first heard about this movie, I was like, didn't we just get Jigsaw and it wasn't really that good? But then I saw who was attached. Chris Rock, that instantly made me more excited because I love Chris Rock as an actor. I think he's hilarious, and I was kind of interested to see how he would fit into a Saw film because he's admitted he's a big Saw fan. He's always wanted to do a Saw film, but I thought it was pretty cool. So he produced this movie and starred in it. And I'm gonna go with the pros and cons of Spiral. I'm not gonna go into spoilers in case you want to watch it, but here's my opinion of it. It's good. It's not horrible as like a lot of people make it out to be, in my opinion. It's a good movie. I will say Spiral is honestly my second favorite Saw film, but there are issues with this movie that do need to be addressed, and I'll go over them. But first, I will go into the pros. I will say Chris Rock does an amazing job in this movie. You can tell that he really wanted to do this movie because he's given it his all in this movie. He is doing so much with what he's given. He just feels natural in this movie. And that's a really good thing because with someone like Chris Rock, who's as energetic as he is, with a movie with a series that's meant to be as gruesome as Saw, he fits right in and he does an amazing job in this movie. And I do have to give my praises to him and the other actors in this movie who also did a very, very good job in this movie. Another thing that's important to me about Saw movie, because here's the thing, I'm sort of a fan of Saw. I like half the movies, I hate the other half, is the gore effects. And I'm happy to report they use fantastic practical gore effects. They look fucking gruesome. And what's good is that this is not a torture porn movie. This is more like a mystery movie with a Saw plot. And they use their practical gore effects to their with because here's the thing, there's not many traps in this movie, but my god, when they do show some traps, it is fucking gruesome. And it will make you squirm. It's that good. I will say the cinematography was pretty good in this. The editing is very much a Saw film. If you don't like the Saw editing, you're not gonna like the editing in this movie. But unfortunately, this is where the pros ends, and this is where we get to the cons. I will say the writing in this movie was very weak. It felt like the script wasn't really well thought out. The mystery wasn't even that good. They cut away from some of the traps a decent bit, but they do show them in flashbacks. But the whole thing with Saw was that it showed the traps in full. This one kind of doesn't, but the main focus of the movie isn't really the traps. It's about the mystery of who's the new Jigsaw. I will say the new Jigsaw in this movie is not good. I don't like him. I don't like this new Jigsaw at all. I don't like them at all. It just didn't feel right. The voice was really weird. I miss the iconic voice of Tobin Bell. I really do, but I understand they wanted to use a new Jigsaw, and that's fine. I just wish they would use someone a bit better than who was Jigsaw in this movie. And the pacing was awful. It was all over the place most of the time. Like it felt kind of inconsistent. But even with these negatives I just named, it is still a good Saw film. If you're a fan of Saw, you're more than likely gonna like Spiral. And me personally, I thought it was a good movie. It's not perfect, no. Is it gonna be in my top 10 films of the year? No. But would I recommend you at least try to watch it? Yes. It's not a horrible movie, like everyone's making it out to be. It's not a 40%, it's not a 5 out of 10. Honestly, if I had to give this movie a ranking, well, rating, it's honestly more like a 7 out of 10. It is a good movie. One that I would recommend to Saw fans. And if you're a Chris Rock fan, I'd recommend this movie too. It's not a horrible movie. You may hate it, but I personally enjoyed it. So, yeah. Hope you enjoy my double feature review. Hoping to do more reviews like this in the future. And I will definitely talk to you guys next time.